Hi you guys and welcome. My name is Stephanie and today we're going to be making a true bone soup. Not a bone stock or a bone broth, but an actual bone soup that is so incredibly healthy for you. It can make a huge difference in your life because it can take an effect on just about every part of your body, including your brain. Now we could go on for a very long time talking about the vitamins and nutrients in the soup and what it can do for your body. So to make this video a little easier to watch, I did write an article. I highly recommend you guys going over and taking a read of it over at my Facebook page, and that way you can find out exactly what this soup can do for you personally and what benefits it can have for you. But otherwise, I want to jump right into showing you guys how to make this. In this video, I did use a turkey carcass, but you guys can use any bones that work for you, whether you're using beef bones, venison bones. You can even go ahead and use fish bones if you want to. But what you are going to want to do is you're going to want to roast those bones first, because otherwise you might get a little bit of an icky flavor in your soup, and we want to try to avoid that. So let's jump right in. I'm going to show you how to make this soup and how to get the best nutrients out of it and the biggest range of health benefits that you can. So let's head over into the kitchen and get started. Okay, so in our very large pot, we have 2 carcasses from our Thanksgiving turkeys, along with the necks, the little scraps of meat that were left on the bone, all that good stuff right in the pot. Covered it up with water and put it on our stove on our heat to get it to start to simmer. While it's starting to heat up, I'm going to add a few tablespoons of some raw apple cider vinegar, and then a bunch of different vegetable ends and cuttings that you want for flavoring in your soup. These can be your past prime vegetables, the ends of your celery, the parts that you don't eat, all that good stuff. I added a ton of garlic too. Just add whatever you would like for the seasoning, whatever you've got in the fridge or laying on your countertops there. And then you can go ahead and add a ton of different seasoning to your stock. Whatever you want, just kind of like how you would season your turkey or any other soup. Things like peppercorn, thyme, parsley, salt, pepper, all that good stuff. Different herbs and spices. I definitely want to add some turmeric to this because that is an awesome health and immune booster. Definitely want to add the garlic for the same reason. Alright, once you've got everything added to the pot, go ahead and just mix it all in and push it down and make sure that everything is in the water nice and well. If you add a little bit of water, definitely do so. Just make sure that you've got a couple of those tablespoons of apple cider vinegar for your carcasses, because the apple cider vinegar or anything acidic is actually what's going to go ahead and draw out all the really good nutrients from the bone, which is the very important part of this soup. So this has been simmering for about an hour, and you can see it starting to develop those impurities on the surface of the water, just that little bit of foam and little layer of fat. And as you check on this, you can go ahead and just take a little spoon and just scrape that away and discard it. Check on it every couple hours, stir it every couple of hours. So this has been simmering for about 13.5 hours. We've gone ahead and just every couple hours come in and give it a stir, and if you're getting any foam on top, just go ahead and scrape the foam off and discard it. But you can tell the difference in how this looks at this point, and the fact that these bones have started to break down from each other. They've turned into their individual bone parts versus a full carcass, and all that meat and fat and all that good stuff has started to fall off of the bone. You want to keep it at a nice low simmer for at least 24 hours for it to be a true bone soup. And what that's going to do is that's going to pull out all of those wonderful nutrients, all your things like your gelatin, your collagen, and your minerals, and all those amino acids, and the things that are really going to give you that true good immune boost and health boost and all those wonderful, powerful effects from this. Okay, you guys, so this has simmered for probably about 26 hours now. And so this is where I'm going to stop it because it's late at night and it's time for me to go to bed. So what we're going to do next is I am going to take this, and it's a big pot, so I'm going to use my ladle, but I'm going to start straining this through into a different container. Okay, so we're not quite done yet, guys, but you can see how much liquid was able to actually get out of that, which is awesome. Now mine has a much yellower color to it because I added the turmeric. Yours might be more on the creamy brown side if you didn't add turmeric to it. And if we look in our big pot of what's left here, it's interesting that you can see how well this broke down. This is what you want to accomplish. We are down to just bone and meat at this point. If you look through here, if I can find a piece because it's all together, you can actually see here where the joints have even come apart from the bones, and that all the cartilage has actually broken away from that. And at this point you're literally left with just the very basic pieces. That's a better example of the joint there, with the very basic pieces of this carcass in here. And then if we come over to this bowl here, you'll see I haven't separated it all out yet, but this is pretty much just the meat and the vegetables and the fat that's fallen off the bones. So I was actually scooping that out and just pressing my spoon down really hard onto this mesh strainer to squeeze as much of that liquid out as I can get, because it's all lodged into that meat. You could also do that with a piece of cheesecloth, of course. Just be careful not to get bone in there, because otherwise you'll end up ripping your cheesecloth and you'll have to start your straining process all over again. But we do still have more steps to go, guys. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cover this up, and remember that if it's still hot, especially if you're covering it with plastic, you want to poke a little hole to let steam release. You don't want to trap steam in there. But we'll go ahead and put this in the fridge overnight and let it totally cool, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so here we are at the next day, and you can see how that looks after it's totally cooled down. And depending on what you use in it, some will have more fat, some will have less, but you can see that there is definitely some fat that's coagulated here on the top. So I'm just going to take my spoon and literally just scrape that fat away off the top. You can see it wrinkle there, how that's actually solid. And so we're just going to go through and do that until we get to that nice liquid on the bottom. And this is what you're left with once you've removed all of that fat. That was the point of letting it sit in the fridge overnight, is that as it cools, it was able to separate that fat, which is what we were trying to accomplish. And now we're just left with the soup. If you want, you can absolutely portion and freeze this at this point. We have limited freezer space, so we're going to can it. So right now we are bringing this back up to temperature. We're going to do a nice hot pack with an inch of head space. We're doing it in a pressure canner. We're doing pints at 20 minutes. If you were doing quarts, you'd be doing it at 25 minutes. And we're doing this at 10 pounds of pressure. If you're using a weighted gauge, you can do 11 pounds of pressure if you're doing a dial gauge. And then go ahead and look up your canning times if you're going to do different size jars than what I just mentioned. But so we're going to go ahead and can this up, and it'll save a lot of space, and then we'll be able to store it and open it as we want to use it. And this is what we're left with. We're able to get 11 pints off of those 2 turkey carcasses, which is really nice. And I actually started drinking one last night, and it was delicious to just sip, nice and warm. But again, guys, don't forget to head over to my Facebook page and check out the article that I wrote over there on all the amazing health benefits of this drink. And if you like this video, definitely hit that like button, and I would definitely suggest subscribing, because we always have fun stuff going on here, and we're always sharing what we're doing. But thank you so much for your support and watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed the rest of your day, and I hope you get a chance to make this on the regular, because it's so good and so good for you. I love you all. God bless, and bye-bye.